And thank you again for joining us. My name is Annie Kohler. I am the College Partnership Liaison and a recruiter for Bender Consulting Services. Again, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to learn more about our upcoming event. And I'm here today with Sherry Lapaya. She's our team lead. Would you like to say hi, Sherry?
Hi, everybody. Thank you again for joining us here at Bender Consulting Services. We're excited to be talking to you today about our virtual career fair and how you can make folks successful in this program.
Okay, great. So again, we're going to talk about empowering your students or customers with disabilities, and we're planning for success on March 15th. That is our next virtual career fair for individuals with disabilities. So just in getting started, a little background on our company and what we do. Very briefly, we are considered a national leader in the area of disability employment. We were founded in 1995 by Joyce Bender. She's our CEO, and she's an individual with disabilities, epilepsy, and a partial hearing loss. In addition, our main headquarters here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, over 90% of our staff, myself included, are individuals with disabilities. So we're very dedicated to our mission to advance employment of people with disabilities in the United States. So being founded in '95, we have over 20 years experience connecting great employers with talented job seekers with disabilities across the United States. And our 20th anniversary just so happened to correspond with the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So it's a historic time in our community. So what's the issue? Why is a company like Bender Consulting and different events like this necessary? Well, as you'll see on the slide, according to ODEP, the unemployment rate for people with disabilities is over double the unemployment rate for people without disabilities. For people with disabilities, we're looking at 10.8% unemployment rate. The unemployment rate for people without disabilities is at a 5.1. And then in addition, only 19.5% of individuals with disabilities are even considered to be inside of the labor force. And many of these folks have very valuable marketable career training or degrees, whether it be associates, bachelor's, and higher levels even of education. So here's a little bit of our agenda for the day. We'll talk a little bit about benefits of the event. And then what does a virtual career fair look like? Perhaps this is a new format for individuals. What would one expect when moving through a virtual career fair platform? And then planning for success, whether it be before, during, and after the event. All of them are very important to have that overall success. And then also how to get the word out so that your students, alumni, veterans, or customers with disabilities can learn about the event and participate. Okay, so some of the benefits of the event. Again, this is a great opportunity for you to connect your constituents with disabilities with employers at a national level. Each of our last fairs have had over 1,000 registrants with disabilities, and we've been thrilled to have the opportunity to connect them with great employers, again, all across the nation, from both federal agencies and private sector companies. And these employers are employers who are seeking out individuals with disabilities because they're participating in a fair that is for people with disabilities. So they're looking to diversify their workforce with the often untapped pool of talent that people find in the community of people with disabilities. Okay, and as I mentioned, tons of employers have participated. Our last fair had almost 50, and there's looking to fill a variety of different types of opportunities, whether they be an internship or something, or looking for full-time employees, part-time, co-ops, and it was for a wide range of different degrees, whether it be for an associate's, bachelor's, and all the way up through PhDs. The event is free for job seekers with disabilities to attend, and again, it's a very convenient method to be able to interact with multiple employers. I know when I was in my job search, if I was going to a career fair, I'd have to put on my suit, get into the car, battle traffic, get there, find parking, pay for parking, and then hope for an opportunity to connect with a few. Here at a virtual career fair, you simply log into the platform and from the convenience of your home, dorm room, coffee shop can connect with employers all over the nation without having the travel and time expense. So here are some of the federal employers who have previously participated in our virtual career fairs. You'll see Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the VA, the FAA, the National Security Agency, you may know as NSA, also the Peace Corps, the Social Security Administration, TSA, and USDA, Food Safety and Inspection Service. So some of the federal agencies, and I know we're already seeing a great mix of federal agencies and private sector companies for our upcoming fair. And just as a side note, a copy and recording of this today's webinar will be available at benderconsult.com in advance of the March 15th event. So be on a lookout for that if you wanted to go back and review any of this information. But this next slide, we have some examples of previous private sector employers from the previous Bender fairs. You'll see American Airlines, Capital One, Crayola, Google, Northrop Grumman, Verizon Wireless, Travelers, tons of great private sector employers who would be seeking out a variety of different types of employees for their workforce. So next we'll go a little bit through what a virtual career fair might look like to help prepare your students, alumni, veterans, or customers with disabilities in getting ready for the fair. So essentially, the entire format of the fair is all done online. Individuals who would like to participate simply set up a login and a password, and then on the day of the event, once they sign in, they have the opportunity to connect with employers all across the United States online, and it's conducted through chat rooms. And as I mentioned a little earlier, this virtual platform really eliminates all of the expense that's associated with travel because you log in right from home, and also time expense, which really can be, time can be at a premium, so that's definitely a great value. So wherever the job seekers and employers may be across the United States, on fair day, they simply log in and the fair begins. So this next slide gives us a little snapshot of what it might look like going into the event. As you'll see, this is from a previous fair, but we have the organizations listed, the title of their chat room, whether they're opened or closed, if there's attendees, and how to join the chat. In the top right, you'll see the icon key, also a button for My Account, and so that's kind of gives you a little idea of what you may see when you log in.
And this is Sherry, and I'm just going to interject for a moment here. You'll see under organization on the top left that Career Eco is on the slide. That is the folks that run the platform that the fair operates under, and that room is available throughout the entire length of the fair for any candidates who may be having a technical issue, a question about how to connect, or any questions that they have at all during fair day. They just go to this same area, click on the join chat icon on the right, and connect with Career Eco to ask their questions.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry. I found that they call it the lobby, has been really a valuable resource for a lot of our job seekers and registrants in the past, especially for those who might be using the platform for the first time, or might be using some type of accessible technology with different questions. That really opens up the fair. So thank you. Now this next one slide is an example of what the chat room actually looks like when you're in the fair. On the left, you'll see the organization representatives, and underneath you see chat participants. So that's where the usernames will be shown as folks coming in and out of the room. In the main chat room area, in the blue bar at the top, you'll see a welcome message. Each job seeker, as they move in and out of employer rooms, receive this message, and it's important for them to read that, as it often contains different instructions and just welcomes everyone to the virtual booth. And at the bottom, you'll see a bar with send next to it. That's how individuals can type in a message and send that to the public main chat room per employer. So that's what it looks like as job seekers move in and out of each employer's chat room. Okay, so in having done many virtual career fairs, we've come upon a number of tips to help your students, alumni, veterans, or customers with disabilities really plan for success to make the most out of the day on March 15th. So there's a lot that could be done before, during, and after the event to really make the most out of the fair. The first tip that we've put together has to do with registration. Once a job seeker registers, they have the opportunity to upload a resume. We suggest doing that now to really maximize their exposure to participating employers. I know as us here at Bender Consulting, we are participating as an employer. We are already on the site seeking out great candidates for opportunities. So that could give your customers with disabilities or students, alumni, veterans, more exposure of their resume and possible more connections with employers. And even if they go on to register, do encourage them to take that critical step of including the resume. In case an employer would come upon their profile, we wouldn't want a missed opportunity if the resume was still not yet uploaded. And again, when talking with your individuals with disabilities, have them complete all fields, be nice and thorough, demonstrate to employers that their attention to detail is outstanding when they're creating their profile. Take every opportunity throughout the event to really showcase and highlight their best skills and experience. All right, so again, this main page that we've been showing, if you would like to pull that up on your computers, it is careereco, that's with an eco.com/events/disability. After today's webinar, if you'd like to take a look at some more of the information, do advise your participants to really study the technology and the employers before the day of the fair. On the day of the fair, you want to be able to jump in and really hit the ground running and make the most of your time at the event and not lose valuable time learning how to use the technology and trying to research the employers. So you'll see we circled job seekers learn more in the kind of the middle of the slide. That is a great place for your candidates to study participating employers and actually can start to sign in and learn the event. Okay, so on this next slide, we have, when you click Job Seekers Learn More, this is where you are taken. Under employers, you'll see clickable links for each employer's name. That will take you to their profile. This is where your students, alumni, and individuals with disabilities can learn more about each participating employer and different jobs they may be seeking, what types of positions they're looking to fill, whether it be full-time, part-time, internships, etc., what degrees and what majors they may be seeking. Just like for an on-site career fair, it's important for job seekers to do their homework and plan ahead so then when they get to the event, they can again connect with those who would be most in line with their job search. You'll see also on this slide a button that says Chat Schedule. The fair runs all day, but the employers have the flexibility to post their own individual chat hours. So, for example, say company XYZ is participating in the fair, but they're only going to have representatives available to chat from 12 to 3. It's important that your job seeker know about that so they don't log in at 3:30 and learn that they've missed their opportunity to network with their #1 company. So again, those chat schedules are posted on the site. Another great tip for success is to advise your students or customers to have all the documents ready that employers might request. That way they can continue forward with the job search process confidently, knowing that they're prepared. Many employers may request transcripts or even a Schedule A letter. For transcripts, they could simply look into their school's website or see what steps they might have to take to see if there would be a cost, or perhaps they can gather a free unofficial copy, whatever might be necessary. They'll know what avenues they need to take. For Schedule A letters, this is for job seekers with disabilities who are included in federal opportunities. A Schedule A letter can be obtained from any licensed physician or the state vocational rehabilitation office. And it's a great idea to start that process early in the job search, so when if it would be requested, that there's no delay or potentially a missed opportunity in waiting for paperwork. Schedule A is a very important thing to be aware of for job seekers interested in federal opportunities who are people with disabilities. And on the screen you'll see we've included a number of links to learn more. Just as a very, very brief overview, Schedule A is a form of non-competitive hiring for individuals with disabilities. So say there's a federal agency, and again, this is just such a brief synopsis, but there's an agency who identifies a candidate with a disability, and they are qualified, of course, for the job they're looking to fill, and that individual has their Schedule A letter. The agency does not even have to advertise the job. So it is a form, again, of non-competitive hiring for individuals with disabilities. And that letter can be obtained, again, from any licensed physician or a state vocational rehabilitation office. Again, the ABCs of Schedule A at eeoc.gov is a nice resource to learn more. There's also a ton of information at opm.gov and even on our website at benderconsult.com under the Careers section. Okay, so next we put together some tips on planning for success and how to be successful during the event. Make the most of this networking opportunity and for your job search. So it's very important, of course, in all aspects of your job search to demonstrate professionalism. And one area in a virtual career fair where this is critical is in chat conduct. So, of course, professional communication is key. Chat slang or emojis would not be appropriate for the job search. I know it's sometimes easy to really accent your tone or sentiment and you try to laugh out loud or include some emoji, but this is really not the platform for that type of communication. Also, remind your constituents with disabilities that employers are participating in chatting with job seekers, and they can see that public chat room and are aware of all the comments that are posted. Often it's great in the main rooms. Job seekers will chat back and forth about different opportunities, but this really is not the forum to disclose personal information, nor to maybe make a comment about wait times. A very important observation for a virtual career fair is that there is a line to speak with representatives. When you're at an on-site, in-person career fair, that line at a booth is very obvious. You're standing in it, you see the people in front of you, and you're waiting to talk with the representative. In a virtual career fair, that line still exists. However, it is virtual and unseen, so there still is a wait time. So do advise your constituents with disabilities of this observation. It really is an important one. Okay, so that's in chat conduct. Now, it's also very important to demonstrate professionalism in the actual chat session. So it's, okay, you've waited in line, it's your time to network, you have an employer representative with which you're chatting. Your constituents with disabilities should be prepared to really, this is the time to put their best foot forward and discuss their skills, their classes, work experience. And it might be a nice idea, especially for some individuals like myself who might be be a little detail oriented, to really develop a few prepared responses, maybe in just a Word document, to common questions that one might be faced with in a virtual career fair, like what brings you to our booth today, or what type of job are you seeking, or tell me a little bit about your education and the type of position that you're looking for, or your experience. You can type those out, and when you're in a chat and it's time to perform and really put your best effort forward, you can have that ready for the recruiters. Now, for many coming out of school, experience can still be an elusive thing. However, do dive into different types of experience, such as coursework, projects, volunteer hours. A lot of that can serve as examples of experience. We've also found that it a virtual career fair, our virtual career fair for individuals with disabilities, we have noticed some discussion of medical topics. While that is a conversation that many have, this is a professional forum and should be kept only to networking conversations about resumes, skills, experiences, degrees. It is inappropriate to discuss medical topics such as medications or surgeries. Accommodations are a completely other topic. This would be simple discussions on medical history, and that would not come into play in this forum. And also, it's very important to never cite disability as a weakness. Common interview questions are like, okay, well, tell me what strengths you bring to the workforce. Oh, on the other hand, tell me a little bit about what weaknesses or area of improvements you may have. Disability is not a weakness. People with disabilities bring amazing skills to the workplace, such as thinking outside of the box, patience, all kinds of things that are often daily aspects of living with a disability. So never cite disability as a weakness. And that leads us right into focus on skills, not on disability, as our tip number 8. It is, as you may know, a violation of the ADA for an interviewer to ask an interviewee what type of disability they have. And it's important to prepare your constituents with disabilities for this question. Unfortunately, some managers haven't really been trained in interviewing or hiring individuals with disabilities, and this could happen. So if it does, it's important that your individuals with disabilities aren't defiant when they respond. You know, be proactive, plan ahead for this to happen in case it does. So you're proactive and not reactive. So simply, your individual with a disability, if faced with this situation, could simply indicate that they could not really answer that question due to the ADA, but they're thrilled to talk more about the interview and getting started on the job. Just revert it back into something positive. So if the interviewer, stumbles and apologizes, which could easily happen, just get back on track with putting your best effort forward and showcasing your skills. Okay, so success tip number 9. I think this is a success tip for life as well as the job search, is to be friendly. People hire people they like. The virtual career fair, like we said, there can be lines and waiting to talk with recruiters. So it can be a long day, and it is, it can be a little stressful because you're trying to do your best and you're chatting with everyone, but be patient with the recruiters. Many are going to be using this technology for the first time, so they might be learning the ropes just like you. And also, with each question posed by a recruiter, answer the question via chat. Take up that opportunity to shine and showcase your skills. Never refer the recruiter just back to, oh, that's on my resume. Please review the resume. And it's always so polite and well received to thank recruiters for their time. Show them that you respect and value their time and have been appreciative of the opportunity to chat and network. So all of these successes, all of these tips can be lent to your constituents with disabilities to help set up for success in the chat. Okay, so just a few last items on virtual etiquette. that welcome message that I discussed earlier, it's important to read and follow those instructions when entering every room. I know it can be easy to skip past that after there's 40 employers participating in the Vendor Virtual Career Fair so far for this event. So it could be easy to kind of, oh, I've been reading so many of these, but there might be important steps to follow within those instructions. So do advise your constituents to read each and every one. And also, part of virtual etiquette is to respond to the recruiters in a timely manner. If you're moving back and forth between different employers' rooms and a recruiter is there waiting for your response and it's 10 minutes later, that recruiter is not going to feel as though you value their time. So as quickly as possible, do respond, and as professionally as possible. That's why having some of those common answers prepared in a separate Word document to copy and paste can really come in handy. And finally, for virtual etiquette, it's important when you're done chatting with a representative to move on to another room. Do not simply hang out in a room and post comments to a wall, because there are recruiters who are performing a very important aspect of their job, and that's finding employees for their corporations or agencies. And it's not more of a social situation. So have your opportunity, chat with the representative, and move on to the next room.
And if you're just to kind of consider how this would be in a live fair where you're in person, it would be akin to standing by a booth after talking to the representative, engaging other people who are approaching that booth and talking to them. And that's kind of a faux pas, if you will, in terms of general career fair behavior.
Exactly. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so after the event, you've had the opportunity to get your resume on the fair site. You've signed in that day and chatted with some great employers. So what do you do to make the most of the event after the fair? So you can talk with your students or clients with disabilities to let them know, keep any appointments that are scheduled at the event. Say you have the opportunity and an employer says, wow, I would really love to set you up for a phone interview, or let's reconvene at a later time. And let's do that on March 30th at 3 o'clock. Keep that appointment. That is like gold. That employer, that could be the door that opens employment. So keep those appointments scheduled at the event. As well as following through with requests for information. If an employer says, oh, that's great, I'd love you to apply on our website, which, sometimes that can be a long process, and the job search, it can be tough. There's a lot of paperwork and forms that need to be done. However, that's always, a critical part of these employers' process. So if they request something, do follow through. Something else we found that would not be appropriate is to make sure that your individuals with disabilities, their parents, are not following up for them. It is important for the job seeker to do that critical follow-up post-fair, and also to just always conduct professional and respectful follow-up that's not frustrating to the recruiter. Yes, having that go-get-'em mentality is wonderful, but excessive phone calls and emails can actually reflect unfavorably. So do your follow-up in a very professional and timely manner. Okay, so that was success before, during, and after the event. And lastly, we have sharing the vendor Evite. How do I best get this information out to my constituents with disabilities so that they can register, upload their resume, and then participate on March 15th? Some ideas we've had is forwarding the Evite that we've been sending out all over the country. You can simply forward that on campus-wide or to your entire organization. We think campus-wide or an entire organization is a great idea because not all students with disabilities are, say, registered with the Disability Services Office, or they may know of a student at another institution or school that could benefit from the event, or perhaps a family member. So really really casting that wide net to help us advance employment of people with disabilities is a great idea, forwarding along that Evite. Many schools or organizations also post information on their individual website so that when their constituents visit, they can learn about the event and participate. Especially on Fair Day, we ask that you tweet or put the information out on Facebook to really drive individuals with disabilities to the event on Fair Day. So share it on social media. Perhaps they received an Evite previously, but this little reminder on the event day might be what it takes to say, you know what, I'm going to go sign on and see who I can network with. Some folks also decide to share information on the event in an e-newsletter, put a little blurb about it out there so people can register, or also send it out to your colleagues. Perhaps they know or have clients with disabilities who would like to participate. So that's a little more on sharing the Evite with campus and customers. And this is our phone number. I invite anyone to contact me or Sherry at Bender Consulting Services. The fair is on March 15th. And like I said, again, we are looking forward to another great day of connecting talented job seekers with disabilities with great employers across the United States. You can also reach me at email. And my email is akollar@benderconsult.com. That's AKOLLAR at benderconsult.com. And I'd like to thank Sherry for joining me today. I know I've enjoyed talking with you more. We love putting on these virtual career fairs and having this great opportunity to connect employers and job seekers with disabilities. So thank you very much, and reach out to me with any questions. We hope you can join us on the 15th. Thanks so much.